boys and girls, Morgan specifically, we're here with the content. Thank you guys for joining us. Off season is in very much full off season mode right now. But we wanted to do the off season review with you guys, which is something we haven't done before, except maybe lightly, right? But we've never done like a full exploration like I feel like we are now, whether that's between the two of us or with getting your ideas, inputs, thoughts, comments, feelings involved. And we were talking about this a little bit before the stream, but very impressed how quickly you guys filled out the survey. I think I posted it at like 1 in the morning, and then went to sleep and woke up, and like 8 of them had been done already. And so I think it's a testament to the type of people that we have in our league, how committed and stupid maybe is the right word. I don't know, but how committed we are to something as silly as the thing that we have together. But it was really cool to see that happen. And like, yeah, insanity in the quietest time of the year that we were all right there, ready to do it. And so we're just going to go for it. So the format of these, we're going to go division by division, expecting these to be a little bit more long form, and very free spirited. A lot of the times we have conversations like this with our interviews where I've got questions in my head or things I know that I want to touch on, or when Code and I recap, we're like, we need to make sure that we talk about this or that. This is very much word vomit, no filter, word vomit, and we're going to be reading a lot of the comments that you guys left, which were very no filter for some of them. Genuinely do not know who was who except for Morgan, because he made a 51st state joke to Unicorn. It was just aggressive in general. But I don't know who anybody else's are, but we had the teams fill them out, and so we'll talk about the ratings. Very angry, by the way. Everybody just mad, just rating everybody poorly. I don't remember how many 5s were awarded. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I don't even remember how many. If I thought I gave out 1 5, maybe 1 4. I don't know. I mean, I don't think I'd be surprised to hear if not many people got 5.
Eight 5s were awarded. There's 11 people did the survey. There's 12 teams, so 11 times 12. What's that? 132. I think.
Yeah, I mean it's.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm
so
so
132 out of the 132 possible 5s to receive, only 8 were handed out. So you guys were just very mean, very angry. But there were some clear different tiers, and maybe we'll have a fancy graphic at the very end for this of the different ratings that were assigned. But we're just going to go a team at a time. And the first team we're going to start with is Make Fullbacks Great Again. Excuse me, the Inaugurals. Starting at the top, going in kind of the order that's on the spreadsheet. But wanted to start with our defending champions, the Inaugurals, their offseason. Overall rating by the 11 teams, 2.8. Sounds low. It's pretty good. No, that's a little bit above average, I think, or average, according to the league.
So is that a 2.8 out of 5?
2.8 out of 5, yeah. And it was in a pretty good spot. As a reminder, for those of you playing along at home, I can kind of put this on the screen and maybe zoom in quite a bit for you guys.
Yeah,
the players that I said, this is where we need to live. The players that I said were, and this is me picking people at 1 in the morning, okay? People, and probably on Oxycontin. People that I said were notable players lost: Derrick Henry. People that I said were notable players gained: Trevor Lawrence, Devontae Adams, and Matthew Stafford. They entered the 2025 rookie draft with 206, 208, 307. Did not make a single selection during that draft. Lots of trades and what that may or may not be. And not to be specific to myself, if I'm not mistaken, they entered the draft with that. Those trades weren't made before the draft. That was like during the draft these trades happened. Maybe I'm wrong. But you guys were very critical and a little bit of praise for the Inaugurals offseason. And I think it was a controversial one, to say the least. I think a lot of people expected them, as they came into the year negative 200 something in cap space, to just be done. The condition happened, and then they ended up selling the entire future for one last hurrah. And so on one hand, you kind of have this miraculous how are they still afloat? And on the other hand,
Mhm.
you have this, why are you still afloat, right? And that's kind of the fun
Right,
game I
yeah.
think that the inaugurals have had to play is how versus why. And I think you have half the league saying, how are they still doing this? This doesn't make sense. Not unfair, right? Because it is fair. It's in the rules. But do they have saying, why would you do this? You don't have as strong of a team as before. Um, but they're,
Yeah, I mean, I think
their goal is
that's
to win a chip
debatable.
every
Like,
year, right? Yeah.
yeah, I mean, like I know that like Derrick Henry's the king, and I'm not like trying to forecast or anything, but I mean, 30 years old, and it's like at some point, wheels will fall off. And also, too, I mean, you're telling me you lost Derrick Henry, but you gained T. Law, Devontae, and Stafford. It's like I feel
Yeah.
like, I mean, obviously, like Henry is a lock in the RB1 spot, but getting those three players, being able to get your cap into a spot where, sure, next year is going to suck even more than it would have this year, but this year you have as good of the odds to win the championship as everybody else. I think.
Yeah.
I know that division is like supposed to be the new DoD, as we've like coined it. Real men of geniuses. It's got Cam, Rick, Morgan, and Chase.
Yeah.
And like Rick's team's really the only one that's like not ready to compete. Because the other three, I mean, I'd argue, Chase and Morgan, that's going to be like a playoff matchup for the next 3 years.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, this kind of is like Cam's last hurrah. It feels like, but realistically, you could keep kicking the can down the road, every year. Eventually, the bill will come due. But right now, I mean, I'm kind of shocked it was a 2.8. Like, I don't remember what I rated his offseason, but like, I feel like anything less than a 3 is kind of disrespectful to the two-time defending champion. I mean, yeah, like his cap situation sucks, but who the fuck cares if you're winning championships? Like, so
Yeah.
I just,
It's very much,
but
and I hate that I do this. Like, I hate that I bring up my piece of
the
shit
devil's
team
advocate.
in comparison to, no, in comparison to Cam, in the sense that, like,
Yeah,
I pushed the chips in, it didn't work, it failed, now I'm in the shitter. Like,
yeah,
and that is the laughing stock of the league, whereas Cam is going to be in that same place theoretically next year. Not a single fucking person can say anything about it, though, because the guy won 2 chips, right? But when you look at
yeah.
it in this off-season lens spectrum, it was rated as average, which I think is a little crazy, but I also think it comes from people being maybe a little frustrated that they were able to stay and keep the cap space. Maybe it comes from people seeing the writing on the wall and saying you didn't have to. I mean, he is screwed like completely after this year.
The pause on that was great.
There's no coming back from this, and I think that there was a window to maybe not have to do such a massive rebuild. But Cam said, "No, I'm gonna." Let's read some of the comments, shall we? Again, don't know who's who. First comment: adding players. They rated as a 4. Adding players to a winning roster is wild. That is the amount of that comment. So someone who felt positively. Only 2 teams scored Cam at a 4 or higher. So 4 there. Under the other 4, this wizard, and I'm just gonna read every comment that's on here. Some I don't understand.
You have
The
to.
wizard rescued my mother from a burning building. When she found out about the wizard's multiple chips, she left my father for him. I hope that clears up why I call Cam daddy. Yours truly, Morgan. Look at that.
Okay.
Morgan and this other team giving
Okay.
Cam a 4. Golf clap. The rest of the league giving 2s and 3s. And I'll just read those off and love to hear your reactions on any that jump out to you. So if you need to cut me off to comment on a comment, please do.
Yeah.
A 2-star rating. Dude wanted to make the Division of Death 2.0 with a retread team. Working out the Trevor Lawrence trade was a pain in the ass, specifically because while looking at his roster, there's no one interesting for my team. It's wild that he won the championship. Dude is all in with tier 2 quarterbacks. He better win again, otherwise it's a long road back. Expecting another contending season, but it's going to get tough from here. Cam has a massive ego. Another comment. This is why we
Is
can't
that
have
Chase?
nice.
That's gotta
Huh?
be Chase.
I have
That's
no
Chase or
idea.
Allen.
I deleted the name. No, Alan never did the survey. Alan's the one who never showed up.
Oh, Allen.
But he's got a lot
Okay.
going on. Baby at home, as you know,
Yep.
moving, selling his
Oh.
house, buying a new house with a newborn. Do not
What?
recommend. As someone who went through it,
Yeah,
do not recommend.
I'm good on that, Chief.
Yeah. This is why we can't have nice things. Why is Justin Jefferson like $4? What the fuck? Nerd. And the last one, no rookies, added players that will probably be retiring within 3 years. So those are all the
Yeah, see,
comments.
I mean, I guess it's tough because when you look at the off-season review rating from like the dynasty lens, like, yeah, he had 3 picks, two second rounders that were like mid second rounders because of the comp picks. And every year, like, you have to like figure there might be more comp picks every year, which means that like the thirds and fourths naturally decrease in value.
Right.
So yeah, like not adding like any young talent, but then again, you've got the guys that are like your heavy hitters. You got them on not bad contracts. I don't know, it's tough because it's like doesn't really have like any like bad contracts. He's just negative in cap next year, like by a lot. So it's like, yeah, how do you dig yourself out of that hole? Like, yeah, you have good contracts on most of the guys. It's just how do you dig yourself out of that hole? I don't know. I'm not surprised. I probably gave him a 4 because I was probably one of the 2 that gave him a 4 because I don't think I would have given him a 2 because looking at that, just what he did this off season makes a lot of sense for where he's at. If he wants to go for another year, he's got the pieces now. Why not? Like, I know it's like gonna not be sexy dynasty, no rookie picks or whatever, but it's like, who the fuck cares?
And not only that, but part of me thinks that even if Cam had some type of rookie pick that he was going to use to get something,
Yeah.
with how
like there's someone who might not even play like
right
off the start, like it's like.
But
so
let's pretend that Cam sucks. Cam does whatever this year. Next year he sucks. Bashal Tutin has a role. Isn't Cam just going to fucking sell for whatever he can get at that point in time to try to get picks in 28, 27, 29?
Probably, yeah.
So part of me thinks that adding young players now, who cares? Because even if I add young players now, there's no guarantee that when I'm able to take a step forward in 2028 that they're even existing in the NFL. And so I personally like what Cam did a lot. I think it's a lot. I think he broke what I wanted the cap relief bonus thing to be.
The dead cap? Yeah.
Yeah, like that was supposed to be able to get you $50 in cap space. Wasn't supposed to get you $250 in cap space, but that'll be changed next year. But I kind of like the intention, the pathway, the moves that he made to kind of be in this position and to go for it.
It sounds like both of the 4s came from Blind and I. So everyone else in the league hates you, Cam.
Well, the one was Morgan, and I know for a fact the other was me. So you must have given him at 3 at some point in time.
Yeah,
but you were probably one of the nicer comments of the 3. You were not the what the fuck, your team sucks, I hate you 3s. You were one of the nicer ones in that room. But I know I did the survey first, and it was at the very top, so I know that. So I'll shuffle the order of how I read these things. I guess this way, if I talk shit about someone,
maybe we'll have like an inside hit on it. Yeah.
So that is the inaugurals. Let's move it right along to the C words and talk about their offseason. And let's get their changes up on the screen. Maybe I should be zooming in like spreadsheet itself to zoom in.
Yep, that looks a lot better.
Let's take a look at the C words. So notable players gain loss. Again, notable players. I had to scrape the barrel for some. I'm not saying that about the C words.
Yeah,
I did for really myself. And I already got the flag for it. Darnell Mooney, Travis Kelce, Kyle Pitts. Are they noteworthy? Yes, they are, because they have roles. Yeah, I think they have roles, and so that's why they're on this list.
Yep.
But you look at the opposite side, picked up Saquon Barkley, massive pickup. Maybe Rick's homerism coming in a bit with Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston. But enter the rookie draft with a lot. 101, 108, 201, 301, 401, 408, and came out with a haul. Ended up adding some extra picks later in the draft. Came out with the major pieces really to talk about in this one. Gianti, Emeka Ejigba, R.J. Harvey, Jalen Milroe, Jack Beck, who knows, right? It's the Raiders' offense. I feel like anything other than running back and wide receiver one are really open for discussion. Yeah, Bauer and tight end one, are open. Arroyo, Neal, so some other depth pieces there.
Back.
Yeah. So I kind of like the strategy that Rick had here. I mean, we all knew he was going to get Saquon, right? Like that was kind of the obvious of how much money he had kind of coming into the offseason in comparison to everybody else. It was just a matter of time. Did not opt to re-sign some of those other bigger pieces that he had, and played it fairly conservatively, I think. And with talking with Rick, we kind of know that his intention is, I don't want to say because he's not like a tank, like I suck at in tank, right? I think his optimism is to get 101 this year and then really start to go.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
if he wins more, he's happy. But
that's like gotta be a record.
Yeah, for sure.
Someone does, especially with our format, someone to get 3 straight 101s is
that's very specific and meticulous, right? That is the epitome of taking your time with the rebuild, but at the same time really trying to do it right. So overall ranking for the C-Words, 3.81, the highest by a decent margin in our league. And I feel like, well, let's read the comments first. I feel like that is deserved, but I think there is a big gripe that it looks like a person or two had in the comments here. So let's just go in a different order. I need to make this bigger so I actually read all the words. 4-star rating. Let's do there's 3 5-star ratings. 2 of them did not leave comment. 2 of them did not leave comments. So we don't know who those are. The other one is did what's best for his team. Kind of left it nice and short and simple, right? But you can't argue that. It made the right decisions. Best decision for his team. Yeah. Good stuff there.
You look at his just the off-season moves that he did. It's like nothing he did hurt him.
Yeah.
So it's like, I know that this year he's probably not like competing, especially in that division. But I mean, he's got Saquon and Genty. It's like that's like RB1 and RB2 overall potentially right there. Yeah. So I mean,
and he's been very open about Saquon, right? He's been very open of, hey man, come get him. Like I'll sell. I don't care. So I could see him having a hot start or a tricky start and figuring out from there. But I also don't think he's not. This is not a typical aim for 101 situation. Yeah. And this isn't a typical 101 situation, right? This isn't a situation where you need to suck the most to get 101. If Rick starts to play well and does well, and he ends up in the extra pick bracket, I don't think he's mad. I don't think anybody's mad. I think I'd rather have 101 than 105 and 113. But to have that success is huge,
would have probably
right?
been nice, especially after taking over a team that was just completely dumpster fire. Yeah, I mean, it was
being able to build it back his way. So those are the 5-star comments. Just one with comments. The other 2 left no comments. 4 teams rating him 4 stars, saying a couple different, all of these with comments. Win now approach while still having a large rookie class, was the comment there, which agreed. Saquon will be on Cam's team by December, was another comment. I am glad he is not on my division this year, is a third comment. And then the most, not that these weren't thoughtful, right, but the most thoughtful one. I think Rick is close to completing his rebuild exactly where he wants it, but now it's a matter to see if time will tell if it works or not. So, and I agree. There's a lot of the things that we just went over in the sense of it feels like we're really at a pinnacle point for Rick's team. It's just now a what if. And I think that he's done it the right way. And I think there's some key pieces on this team that still could, if they all of a sudden turn it on and hit, like if all of a sudden Anthony Richardson comes out this year and is incredible.
Exactly,
If Caleb Williams comes out and is incredible, oh my goodness. If Gianti does what we expect him to do, oh my goodness. And it changes things. Then we've got a couple 3-star comments. He should have spent more in free agency. I would have tried rebuilding faster, but Rick is sticking to his plan. And the last one, business as usual for the C-Words. Real steady Eddie, focused on the future. Saquon is a nice dark horse extra pick bracket run, but I doubt anyone trades for him during the season with that contract. we have seen Rick be open to negotiating
Yeah.
and covering money.
You
But
Well-
Rick is so stingy with money. As somebody who's like, I'll pay for half that contract if it's a first. He's like, you want me to throw in $5? Go fuck yourself. So I wonder if we see too much success, if Rick is then more open to selling Saquon, or if
Yeah.
he's having too much success. If he's like, screw it, I'm here. It
Right,
almost
yeah.
depends on how these first 3 divisional games go, and then Rick can say, okay, got through that. Now
Yep.
what?
Yeah.
'Cause-
Yeah, it's interesting that one of the comments basically was like, I can't see Saquon being traded with that contract, and the other comment was like, it's on
Saquon's
Cam's
on-
team by December. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
The league is torn. We do have one team that said this was a 2-star offseason, and they said trying for 101 is rated just tank normally, in my opinion. So, thoughts on that? Do you think that Rick is doing this the right way, trying to go for this a third time? Do you think he should have? I'm not saying push the chips in and sell the farm, but do you think
Yeah.
that? What are your thoughts, just to that
I mean,
comment in particular?
he probably could have done a little more in free agency because, like, the thing is, like, I know his quarterback situation is kind of sketchy, but like if like you said, if Anthony Richardson's if he's on this year, if Caleb's on this year, Anthony Richardson doesn't even have to be a good quarterback. He just has to run the ball, like, just get like 12 carries for 60 yards and score, and you are a fantasy darling just like
Right.
Jalen Hurts. So it's like he doesn't even have to be a good NFL quarterback, and you've already got Barkley and you've got Genty, and then you got like Mike Evans still, and then I don't remember a lot of his other receivers. I know he's got
Josh
But he's
Downs,
starting
he's
to
been
trip
very big
bottom of
on.
the
He's got
barrel
James
as he
Cook.
gets there. Yeah,
How
but
could you
it's like,
forget?
I mean,
you forgot his wide receiver 1.
who is that? Bailey?
Yeah.
That's my point. It's like, I mean, you look at the team. It's like I don't know who said that comment about. I'm happy he's not in my division, but like, yeah, he's continually on the upswing. It's just he's real patient, methodical. He probably doesn't have to be. Like, if he wanted to compete this year, he probably could have. Maybe he saw what Cam was doing and was like, I'll wait one more year. You know what I mean? That's kind of what I'm thinking.
And he does have Cam's 26 first. He has all of his picks for the next year. He's all of his picks for the year after that, right? So, and again, I don't think that Rick should be selling his picks to try to make a push, but part of me is wondering, could you have spent more to do this? But again, to your point, maybe he sees that this is like a, he and Cam would go like this next year. I can't move my fucking arm. I'm so sorry.
much.
But he and
'Cause,
Cam
yeah,
are
like
gonna,
right now, I mean, Morgan and Chase, they're not going anywhere. We're talking about them next.
yeah, and they're still right there too. And maybe that's a thing too. Like I think that God, I fucking hate giving him credit. I think Cam picking the division he picked was genius. I do, because if he can make it through the games this year, he's fine, and I think he should. But the next year, when he's trying to lose, maybe still trying to offload pieces, he should get 6 losses from that division. Like, that is a very
'cause
real
that
thing.
going to be very tough.
Yeah.
So
and
he'll
so-
have the what's the word? The runway to tank.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Like the path, like half the work is done for him in a sense. And so maybe that's the concept that Rick had as well of, hey, my division's tough this year, so I could take it easy this year, and then really go for it next year. But I think it's really cool to see how many different distinct strategies we've had play out, whether they are very deep, well thought out, or they are very, I'm going to give this a shot and see how it goes. It shows that really a lot of different things can work, but it also shows that sustained success is not. Let's continue along the path to the next team in our division, the Luck Cardinals. I haven't slipped yet. I haven't called them the Tigers yet, I don't think. I don't think you have either, but I know it's only a matter of time. The Luck Cardinals, losing Trevor Lawrence, losing Romeo Doubs, losing Dalton Schultz. They did gain Deebo Samuel, Aaron Jones, and Isaiah Pacheco. I think a net win if you take out the quarterback factor of, losing Trevor Lawrence to and not getting a quarterback back. But I do think that Morgan has a couple different options there at the quarterback position and allowed him the flexibility for that trade. Entered the rookie draft with 102, 106, 310. Came out with Amarian Hampton, Ted McMillan, Caleb Johnson, Isaac Tesla. I really, really like his draft. I think that overall
it's
it was
hard to
really
hate on
good.
that one.
Yeah, I think if Gianti didn't exist, Hampton would be talked about as you've got to take him at 101.
Yeah.
People are very torn on
But,
Ted
like-
McMillan. Getting him at 106, I think, is really good value.
Yeah.
He was talking to me about Isaac Tesla for a long time. Ended up getting him here. I think Caleb Johnson could do some things as well. I'm very excited about his draft. Very excited about the players he picked up in the offseason. And it just continues to add to this plethora of depth that Morgan has. Like,
Yeah.
there is no shortage of help at any position on that roster at any time. Whether that's through
Yep.
bye weeks, whether that's through injuries, and bye weeks, I think that Morgan has someone he can feel comfortable putting in a different position. The funniest thing we've seen is that he's had to cut people that he's brought back on that became good, or just running out of room on the roster more than any of these other teams. But those are all, the first world problems. I mean, he drafted Puka. Like, he has some of these things that have shown success for him and how he's built his team, and it's in a very, again, distinct way. And I think I like his offseason overall. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know. It's tough because it's like T-Law. I'm kind of higher on him this year. I've always been like kind of higher on him this particular year, but like he was expendable for him, and mostly for him was just getting out of that contract. He didn't want the contract anymore.
Yep.
He's got JJ McCarthy now, who's like the starter in Minnesota,
And
and
he's on that
I mean,
cheap rookie deal that we've got him on. Yeah.
yeah, with
$100
Kevin McConnell's system, as long as McCarthy doesn't just completely suck, he should be fine for fantasy. I mean, I've never really been that high on Debo. Just feels kind of gadgety, but like Aaron Jones still got it. I mean, Pacheco, if he's healthy this year, he'll be good. And then the rookie draft, like talk about like the safest possible picks you could get. I mean, Hampton, I know he's like I guess in a timeshare with Najee. Like I don't know, like
Yeah, for
I
how
mean,
long?
are we really giving Najee that much credit here? Like dude's like a 4 yards per carry average kind of guy.
Yeah.
From the jump. It's like, I mean, yeah, he's durable, but like Hampton is the truth there. And then Tet, obviously, like Panthers have nobody other than Thielen in the wide receiver room.
Yeah.
And then Caleb Johnson. I mean, really, like who do these Steelers even have? They signed Gainwell. They got Warren. Like,
How dare you
Caleb
forget
Johnson-
about 20? How dare you besmirch the name of 2022 league winner Cordell Patterson? Okay, RB4 over there. But
that's
yeah,
my
Caleb
point.
Johnson should be good too. Yeah.
Caleb Johnson has, I mean, yeah, maybe he's not gonna like just take the job outright, but like these picks are like super safe. Like it's hard to see any of them really flopping. And he didn't like. I don't feel like Morgan needed the home run hitter necessarily.
That's what it comes down to. Is I hate saying this without making sure that I'm correct on this. I think I read something saying Jalen Warren doesn't think he's gonna be back in Pittsburgh next year. Maybe I'm wrong. So don't fucking quote me on that. But I think I remember seeing that somewhere. And so it's like, okay, so even if,
and I'm sure they don't want to pay him another contract.
and so it's like even if Caleb Johnson's the 40 and the 60-40 this year, if Warren gets hurt, he's the guy. He might be the guy 100% next year.
Like,
And Morgan has the ability to take a highly valuable player and let him sit there for a year, when other teams might need someone who can come in and start and play today. He's able to say, I can hang out and wait for this guy and let him learn the system for a year. I think it's very notable the Chiefs didn't add anybody at running back, so maybe they believe in Pacheco. Their rushing offense last year was terrible, but after he came back from that broken, fibula, like, he didn't look good. Maybe he's healed.
Yeah.
Aaron Jones, people are...
Yeah. I feel like if anybody came back from a broken fibula, it wouldn't look good.
Yeah.
So like, give him another offseason.
Yeah, now he's got a full
he's
offseason to recover. I think Aaron Jones, like, everybody's afraid they added Jordan Mason. Oh my God, it's Aaron Jones. He's going to be fine. I think I like Debo. It's a very explosive offense. So maybe it's not the greatest thing in the world, but I think that he's going to play a role there. And again, this is like Debo's wide receiver 4 or 5 for Morgan. And if you're comparing, like, who would you take, Debo Samuel or Romeo Doubs? I think Debo's the
probably
answer,
still
right?
Debo. Barely,
Debo or Schultz, probably Debo, right? So I think when you look at the losses versus the gains, it's still a step up there. But let's talk about how the rest of the league feels about his offseason. Overall, a 3.63, which, if I'm not mistaken, is the second highest in the league.
Seems kind of low, right?
Still scrolling. Yeah, I mean, but I agree. I think it's a very good offseason, and the league mostly agrees, but still some good comments here. No 5 stars. So I think Cam didn't get any 5 stars. Rick got 2. They did get 1 5-star, and I don't think this was Morgan giving himself a 5-star, by the way. So let's read the 5-star comment first. I think quite possibly the greatest off seasons ever had. The historians are writing sagas about this offseason transforming the face of the league. I'm 99% sure that's not Morgan. I was 100% sure until I read it. It sounds like something Morgan would do.
Yeah, you're right.
But it is not Morgan's. But someone thinks very valuably of Morgan's offseason. A couple 4-star. You said what?
It's Nate.
It's Nate. Yeah, that's probably a good call. A couple 4s. 6 different teams giving them a 4. 3 teams choosing not to leave any comments. The teams that did leave comments with a 4-star review. The Luck Cardinals have made the most of their offseason. Fully expect them to be a real Men of Genius division contender this season. I agree. Additionally, high variance additions could turn out great, or they could be disastrous. Some of the things that we just went over. And the last one, not a fan of any of the free agency ads, but this is one of the better drafts in my opinion. I think this class should have 3 hits. It's just a question of how good will they be. And I love the thought process that goes into that. And the teams just, again, appreciate you guys taking the time to really look at this and answer these questions. A couple teams with
last few comments were really, really interesting about.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Specifically noting about the draft, and then talking about, like, I'm not fond of the acquisitions in free agency, but again, you're getting pieces other teams aren't. You know, like you're the one
at
now.
You're taking them away from.
Yeah, you have like 7 startable running backs on your bench by the time week 12 rolls around. You know.
Yeah. Yep.
So that's what matters.
A couple 3-star comments, one with no comments. One, though, trading up for Caleb Johnson is never okay. Another says, I have no idea what to think. He's got a ton of solid depth, but will need rookies to hit in order to have enough elite players to win. I think it's a fair point. One team leaving a 2-star review, but no comments. So overall, pretty good feelings around the league for Morgan. I don't think anybody insanely excited, right? But a lot of people saying, hey, I really like what this is. I like what you did. I like what this looks like for you. But I think, again, a lot of people agreeing these rookie picks need to hit. If Hampton and Caleb Johnson hit and McMillan hit, then that's all that matters.
It's another offseason that's hard to hate on. I think that, like, it sounded like the sentiment was that, like, if you compare, like, his offseason with Rick's offseason, Rick got the free agent, the biggest free agent, and then had a great draft. And then Morgan had some good free agents and had maybe a better draft, quote unquote. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. All up to interpretation, which is what makes fantasy football so much fun. Yeah. Our last team in the Real Men of Genius division is the Liquidator. I've got to tweak this a little bit so it's up on yours, especially with the plethora of draft picks. Here they are, the Liquidators. Lost Ricky Pearsall, lost Jordan Mason, lost Deebo Samuel. Picked up Derrick Henry, Travis Kelce. Fairly even-ish for me. There are a lot of people who are super high on Ricky Pearsall. A lot of people who are super high on Jordan Mason. I don't know anybody super high on Deebo, but picking up Derrick Henry is a big piece, especially because we saw Chase last year really kind of struggle with something to push him over the top, and Derrick Henry will push teams over the top. And I like Kelce.
Yeah.
I think that he's shown that as well. Look at these picks that Chase came into the draft with: 105, 113, 203, 204, 205, 209, 212, 303, 305, 312, 409, and 411. Came out of the draft with less players than they had picks coming in, but a lot of movement around the board for Chase, really. Comes out with Travion Henderson, Jalen Lane, Colston Loveland, Jaden Higgins, Jaden Blue, Taj Brooks, Trevor Etienne, Bayshaw Tutton. So lots of different picks. Maybe not one of those super sexy names that you're really excited about, like a Ted McMillan or a Travis Hunter, but lots of good players that people are excited about. I think Jaden, even some of these dart throws, right? Like Trevor Etienne, the Panthers went up. There's not really. I mean, obviously Chuba is kind of running that backfield, right? But Brooks is now officially going to miss the rest of the year. So who's to say Etienne doesn't carve out some type of role? People are really excited about Tutton. Jaden Blue. Who the hell knows who's starting in the Cowboys backfield? So why not? There's clearly a gap right now at the wide receiver 2 spot for the Texans, right? And that's not even talking about his first round picks in Loveland and Henderson. And so I really like
Henderson. Henderson should be like a bona fide stud. It just can he outdo Rabondre for the job?
Yeah.
And
or
like
is it turn into a
Higgins,
Caleb Johnson situation?
Higgins got like I don't remember what it was. He like the most guaranteed money for a rookie or something like that. I don't know. It was really weird, like the way they phrased it. But like his rookie contract, like something about the amount of guaranteed money he got was like it was like record breaking or something.
Oh, I believe you, and I think that the Texans are a big fan. Right, taking it that high, and we don't know what's
going to happen with Tank Dell. If they're doing that, they have
on.
Big plans for Higgins. Then
Yeah, very much so. I think the Texans' offense should be much improved from last year. I don't think it could be worse. It concerns me how much they didn't address their offensive line, and that was kind of their main issue. But if you've got a lot of different targets that you can throw to that are really good, then maybe that'll help.
They had so many injuries in Houston.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see. Let's talk about their rating overall. 3.545. For those of you playing along at home, that is the third highest score in the entire league, meaning the top 3 scores are all in the same division, and none of them are your 2-time defending champion, the inaugurals. So take that for what you will. Truly, the Division of Death 2.0 Real Men of Genius. We need to come up with some acronym for that I can say really fast. And by the time I master it 3 years from now, we'll realign again. They did get a 5-star. They did get a 5-star off-season rating. The comment, or just one. The comments being, Henry and Kelsey should push Chase over the hump. Will that be true? Is the question. Thoughts?
I mean, I think that Kelsey's probably fine for one more year of like low-end tight end 1 production. I mean, I think the thing is, this past season he just didn't get as many touchdowns as everyone thought he would. He was still racking up catches and yards every now and then. It's like, I don't know if he's gonna fall even worse off the cliff. Like, it's kind of just weird with Kelsey, but like, it doesn't hurt to have him on the roster.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Especially too, I think that Cam's done it the right way, where Kelsey is not his tight end number 1. He's got Laporta there. Tight end number 2, arguably, is Brenton Strange or Colson Loveland, right?
Yep.
And then Kelsey's still there. So Kelsey is theoretically tight end 2 or 3. If he has a monster year again, you plug him in, no problem. If he's not having a good year, whatever. Also has Noah Gray on the roster. And there's kind of this expectation that Kelsey's role is going to shrink and Noah Gray will expand. Noah Gray's will expand, so he's kind of prepared for that as well. So I like how Chase addressed it. If I'm not mistaken, he's cheap. I think it was like a $26 contract. If I fucking have that memorized,
it's not. Yeah, no.
Myself.
You would be the one to have it memorized, but yeah. No, yeah, his tight end room specifically is pretty set.
28. I have a problem still.
$2 off, like yeah.
Yeah, they still have an addiction. Hi, my name is Michael, and I'm here at Fantasy Football Anonymous. Let's talk about some of these other comments that were left. So that we had the 1-5, a couple 4s, 3 of them. 1, simple enough. Good draft. Couldn't agree more with you. Another one, big draft class, but no one in my top tier of rookies personally, but great work offloading some players. I agree. I kind of even mentioned that. I don't think there's any of these crazy, sexy names on there, but some really good ones. It's just a matter of if they hit or not. And then the next comment, juggling above cap hell, roster's really good. Excited to see if a rivalry develops. The only thing that keeps us below 5 is his cap situation. I'm interested to see if he keeps collecting picks or what his move is during this season. Roster construction is a 365 thing. We should get some clarity mid-season. Again, the thoughtfulness that goes into this will never cease to impress me. Love you guys for it. And I think it's super, super good. And that is not mine or yours, probably.
I
I don't know for
don't
sure.
think I would have typed that much into a comment.
You're the one that said good draft.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's fun. I think in my head I've pitted Chase and Rick together as rivals, joined at the same time, same division,
Yeah.
both rebuilding, took over shit teams, but it hasn't really happened so much yet. I would love to see a true rivalry pick up for these two here. Maybe since they're in the same division again and they're actually on the uptick, it'll happen, or maybe with Morgan.
Yeah.
Otherwise, no twos, couple threes, couple non-comments. One, Henry is inevitable. Yes, he is. Second, added future Hall of Famers, but how much time do they have left? Is this time for Chase to make a run? And the last one, on paper, looks amazing for an up-and-coming contender, but feels disappointing they couldn't do more with that draft capital other than just taking shots on guys. I think that's an interesting perspective, and one I kind of agree with, but I think if you look at Chase's roster, Chase is very big on the rookies. And if not mistaken, Chase and Cam are like do a lot of scouting and like have their own like insanely in-depth big boards. And so I think when you look at his roster, it's just so many young pieces. We have seen that be a problem for people in the past. Maybe not here, but in typical Dynasty, you're too young almost. You need to have some pieces.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's that. I think adding Derrick Henry, already having Christian McCaffrey, Joe Burrow, Malik Neighbors, Drake London, Ladd McConkey, a lot of these young pieces like Malik and London and McConkey and Rice have hit. And I like that we're adding some really dominant pieces in to go along with this. I really am a big fan of the Derrick Henry edition.
I mean, if you had Derrick Henry and McCaffrey just 2 years ago, you're winning the league.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so, like, obviously this year it's a little different and there's questions about McCaffrey's health, but it seems like he's fully healthy and good to go.
Yeah.
This was an interesting offseason for Chase because this is the one where, like, he had all of his picks, for, like, a year and a half. He was, stockpiling.
He's been building
these
them
picks.
for now. Yeah.
Yep. And now this is where he decided to take them all. He could have traded back. He could have, stockpiled future picks, but no, this is the year he took them. Yeah.
Still an extra second next year, 2 extra thirds next year, and 2 extra fourths next year. So he's not done with those
he's
picks.
Still loaded.
Yeah, he still has plenty, but I do think with what you're saying, and even with what some of the other teams are saying, with the cap situation, there's a lot of picks here. And so do we see Chase be successful and start to cash in some of those picks knowing his cap situation? Do we see Chase falter in the beginning and say, maybe I'll give another year and kind of get some more picks? I think arguably Chase isn't like the biggest, hey, I can really easily go this way this year.
Yeah.
I can also really easily go this way. And that's such a fun, unique position to be in, I think. But I think that we've seen from Chase that he wants to go after it. He's just trying to time it right.
I mean, otherwise he wouldn't have gotten Henry and Kelsey. But like the talk about, we'll wrap it up in a minute, but talking about the cap situation, that's a good point because every rookie pick has a contract cost associated with it, and not every rookie pick is guaranteed to even be a relevant fantasy player. So like you could be stuck with some of these, like that comment talking about like all just making dart throws. Realistically, all of these picks are dart throws. I mean, people remember Trent Richardson, running back for the Colts, supposed to be the next
guy.
Yeah, Adrian Peterson or whatever. Just he flamed out. So it's like realistically, none of these guys are sure things. And if you're stuck holding that bill, I mean, even like I think Flynn cut Will Levis, and Will Levis wasn't like that, that much dead cap.
Like
but, I mean,
if this is a normal league, you don't cut him, right? Like he's probably never going to be the guy, but you fucking move him to the bench and say, you sit right there.
Right, yeah.
But here, we don't have time to do that.
Like that cap and the dead cap, as we see, it just starts to accrue and accrue and accrue.
Yep.
So yeah, you really got to hit on these picks, and if you don't hit on the picks, then it's like, you're stuck with a rookie that's not seeing playing time on like a $10 deal when you're going to go to waivers and get a guy for $1 anyway.
Yeah.
To start the season because the rookie's not playing.
Yeah. Last thing I'll say before we wrap this up, talking about Chase's cap situation. Next year, $486 in cap space. Pretty good. Don't know where that ranks in terms of the league. Let's run through some of these upcoming free agents. Joe Burrow, Christian McCaffrey, Derrick Henry, Michael Pittman Jr., Rashee Rice, Sam Laporta, Brock Purdy. That's his starting lineup.
Not including any holdouts. Yeah.
That is not including any holdouts. That's the starting lineup. Did not name Rico Dowdle. Did not name Travis Kelce. Did not name Noah Gray or Jalen Polk, because why? But that is a very, very good core. And so I think Chase not only has some interesting cap decisions to make. Who does he re-sign? Who does he let go? Who does he try to bring back in free agency? And there's a lot of teams on the up and up in terms of coming up with cap space next year, because this is kind of like the first year a lot of these bigger, grosser contracts have kind of gone away. And so there's a lot of teams that are coming into the year with $600, $700, $800, but nobody on their roster. And so I feel like any player that walks in free agency or gets tagged with an RFA is going to have more risk than it ever has before. But I mean, you can't re-sign Joe Burrow for $355. This is Y1OR. You can't re-sign Christian McCaffrey for $305. This is Y1OR.
Someone's getting franchise tag.
Someone's getting franchise tag. Yeah. Lots of fun decisions for Chase this year. Has been a very fun team to watch on the sideline. It's so nice when your team sucks because you get to root for everybody.
You're just really in it, yeah. Like
I'm living vicariously through all of you because I can do nothing.
Researching every little bit about the future.
And not only that, I suck in most of the leagues that I'm in, so it's even better. That does it for us. Real Men of Genius Division. 3 teams with the top 3 ratings. And again, Cam, your defending champion, not there. I think in the top half or in the average area of it. But, it's all downhill from here in terms of what you guys think about the rest of the league. That episode will be coming out in a couple days just to keep things fresh and make sure that we're not all watching the wrong episode at the wrong time. So releasing this one as you're watching it now, obviously it's already out, but we'll be releasing the next one Monday morning, bright and early. And the one after that will come out on Friday morning, bright and early. This way there's some time to watch, discuss, and digest, and also be disgusted that teams are rated higher than you think they should be. Thanks for watching. We will see you guys soon.